Temperance, you're feeling kind of peaceful, feeling kind of stable, feeling like things are on good ground. That's a nice place to start, Gemini. And, you know, it could be that you're peaceful about something having ended recently, or looking back into the past at something that the sun has set on. That's what this Five of Swords is. I call that card picking up the pieces. So it may be that you are reflecting upon something that has ended or something in the past. I'm just kind of getting that you're looking into your past and getting some insights, collecting some of the rewards. Swords represent knowledge, ideas, thought, wisdom, insight. So those are all things that, even though you may be kind of like looking back and seeing something that was a conflict, you may be getting insights about it, and you may be figuratively picking up the pieces and gaining something regarding it looking back, and it's actually causing you to feel more peace about it. It's causing you to feel more balanced. Temperance has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground, which represents the emotional world and then being grounded. So it shows me that there's some hope, that there's some maybe even new knowledge, because also temperance goes back and forth between 2 cups. This is sort of like compromise. This is seeing things from both points of view. This is like pouring the 2 things together so that they become one thing, one point of view, create something new. So if you have opposing forces or opposing points of view, temperance finds the common ground between the 2. So I'm getting the sense, Gemini, that you're having an opportunity to reflect back on something that was a conflict. You know, this is a battleground. But looking back to it and getting some peace about it, finding some common ground, getting some insights. And then I see that right now may be a tough time to move forward, though, because it's sort of like, this is sort of like when you're driving your car and the gears are grinding. You know, it's Chariot in the upright position means forward movement, swiftness, victory, crossing the finish line, having intuition about which way to go. Things might be fuzzy right now. The path ahead might be a little fuzzy. You might not really trust your intuition. You might not know which way to go. You might not know which way to move forward. So like if this is something that you're getting insight about the past, you may not actually know how to move forward on it yet, Gemini. But this card says, you know, operate from the heart. This is Queen of Cups, and she's a very compassionate, very loving, very intuitive, very emotionally based card. So she's saying, you know, if you're looking at this whole situation, just operate from the heart. You know, be sort of delicate, be tender, spend some time just reflecting and thinking. And maybe you tend to be a mental sign because you're an air sign, Gemini, but I'm going to encourage you at the beginning of December, especially if you don't know how to move forward on something, look at it from a point of view of the heart. Look at what would my heart say that I do? How do I feel about it? What is my heart encouraging me to do? That's going to give you some insight. And then I see this as being you, Gemini. I see this is the young person who holds the truth. This is actually probably the younger side of yourself. But this is definitely an air sign. If it's not Gemini, it could be Libra or it could be Aquarius. But I kind of see you as getting new truth, new conviction. This is like having a new belief about what's going on here. And I get the sense that you get the new belief about something from your past. This could be recent past or long past. But this is one of the swords that you pick up from this. And this is a new belief about it. So this gives you a lot of conviction. This gives you a lot of alignment with the truth and feeling like you want to take action on it. This Page of Swords means being ready, being willing to stand up for what you believe, being willing to declare what your beliefs are, having a conviction about something, being in alignment with yourself and your beliefs, what you believe to be true. And I see another page here. Pages are the young side of ourselves, or young people. And pages generally represent optimism. They represent enthusiasm. They represent willingness. So I see your willingness to move forward on something, likely whatever it is you collected here in terms of information and knowledge. I see it bringing you a lot of peace and a lot of compassion. As far as feeling your own personal power or knowing your own self-worth, that's a little challenged mid-month here. You may want to move forward on something again, but you may not be feeling totally powerful or feeling like you can take the world on quite yet. Two of Wands is about a spiritual journey, and it's about receiving help on something. It's also about feeling like the world is in the palm of your hands, feeling like the world is your oyster. And it's two energy. It's between you and someone else. And again, usually it's receiving help, but it means like going on to the next chapter, moving forward, taking action on something, putting plans together. I often see it as like climbing to a mountaintop, taking on an adventure. You may not quite be feeling that yet, even though mentally you're ready for something. I don't see you necessarily taking action on something. And that kind of works with Chariot in reverse here too. There may not be forward movement, even though mentally and in your heart you feel like you're getting ready for that. I think that there's some ways in which you need to keep hope alive. That's what this card is, Star. And in the reverse position, it says there's some challenges to that. It's also recognizing your own unique intrinsic value, your own unique worth here on the planet or in the universe even. I always point out that the bird, the flower, the tree, the star, they don't need anything to have value. They just radiate their own selves. And she too, she's stripped bare naked here. So she doesn't have any like titles or trappings or clothes that tell you what status she is. She's just who she is naturally. And she's got this soft radiance because of that. So I'm seeing some challenges mid-month for you, Gemini, of feeling like even though your mind might be made up about something and you might have new insight and new truth about something, I don't see you as moving forward on it quite yet, because I think you're kind of still getting your bearings, like accepting yourself in the situation just as you are, not needing to be perfect, not needing to live up to expectations. But I'm seeing for the middle of the month, you may need to keep work with keeping hope alive regarding something, and you may need to receive some help in order to feel your own personal power, confidence, all of that before you can move forward. I also see that physically you might not be ready or willing to move on something. This is Page of Coins and it's in reverse. So again, in the upright position, pages represent willingness, optimism, enthusiasm, and this is regarding the physical world. So this is regarding like your lifestyle, things you own, considering maybe taking a job. It's the money that is surrounding you. It's all the physical things that are surrounding you. And I'm seeing that this person is not feeling up to it, not feeling like enthusiastic, not feeling ready, not feeling up to the task. This person is up to the task mentally. This is the younger side. It's sort of like, I'm kind of getting the sense of the saying, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Like mentally you might be ready for something, but physically you might just not be there yet. You might need to connect with your natural self and do some work with self-acceptance before you can move forward on something physically. And I also get the sense that it has to do something with forgiveness, both of yourself and of someone else. And this is really hard for you because it's in the reverse position. Judgment has a feeling of leaving all of the ghosts of the past behind, leaving baggage behind, understanding people in their whole selves, understanding that it's a card of when the judging of souls happens and people get released from the grave. And there's this spiritual fire, this spiritual trumpet that actually like cleanses everything. And I call this forgiveness here because it kind of washes everything clean. It kind of gets rid of all the baggage from the past, and you get to see people in in their whole self, not just a certain version of them or certain interaction. It makes things whole again. But when judgment is in the reverse position, it says that there's some sort of block to experiencing forgiveness, to employing it, whether that's forgiveness to yourself or to someone else. It's being challenged right now. And there may be either a fire sign person or someone who has Queen of Wands archetype that you are having a hard time forgiving. This is someone who is radiant, who's attractive, a confident, bold woman. She's usually got a sunny disposition. She's usually has a good sense of humor, is able to laugh, is able to be witty. And she's often in a position of authority. Now, whether that's authority over herself or over someone else, that's Queen of Wands energy. And it can be a fire sign, so it could be Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, but it could just be someone who embodies that. And I get the sense, Gemini, that there may be some difficulty in forgiving someone who is of that archetype. So someone who is, a strong woman, attractive, sense of humor, witty, bold, confident. That's might be who you're having the challenges with, because you're not seeing things eye to eye with them. I see this fire that's headed towards her, but they're both in opposition. They're both in reverse. So it's kind of like saying that's hard to do right now. I just want to encourage you not to believe any false lies, false truths, or lies about things being in competition. If you think that there's strife on something, if you think that there's chaos, disorder, fighting, competition, I'm seeing that that's not real. It's not true. It's in the reverse position. So this is saying that you may be overestimating the amount of fighting that's going on. You might be making something bigger than it is. Like if this is like a little trivial disagreement, this devil card here can make you amplify it and ensnare it to make you think this is like World War III. So don't fall into this trap of being encased or harnessed or ensnared by devil energy, because he can make, like, I'm almost getting that this is like an errant word or a false claim, like something that maybe is like something that you heard from someone that is not true or it got exaggerated. Devil's going to try to make it a bigger problem than it really is. It's almost like a trivial matter, but I get the sense with this card and this card together that it's being made into a larger issue than it actually is, that something was said a lot more, it's being thought of as more strong than the actual words that were said. So don't believe things that are not true, especially if it has to do with conflict, if it has to do with competition, open warfare, any of that. Don't get sucked into believing something that's not true. That might be what a grudge that's being held against this Queen of Rods person, that you're having a hard time forgiving them. So what I'm just going to say, Gemini, is that you're in a nice place as far as sort of getting your mind right, getting some insight about something from the past. It really puts you at peace, and it really puts you in this nice place of compassion. I mean, this could be a water sign that is showing up. I mean, it could be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, in which case it's a loving, compassionate person who's really on your side and really telling you, like, it's okay not to know how to move forward right now. This is a good counselor usually. If this isn't you, either way, you can get good counsel by following your heart in the situation. And then you're getting connected with the truth here, Gemini. This is, you have a new belief about something mid-month. You might need to access your own worth and your own power, your own ability to receive help, and see that you have your own natural place in the world, because it's not like you're ready to move on something. It's not like you're ready to, you're not willing to be physical about it yet. You're not willing to sort of move from your position yet, even though your mind is ready. And I get the sense that what's blocking that is forgiveness of this Queen of Wands person, whoever is the woman who was sunny, fiery, confident, bold, witty, attractive. She's a pretty strong character, so you'll probably recognize her if you know who that is. And then this is also saying, don't make mountains out of molehills. Don't take the bait, is what I'm getting with these two. Don't believe something if there's conflict. Don't make it larger than it is, because one of the meanings of this card is playing versus fighting. This could just be children playing. But then, you know how this actually reminds me of like when two boys are playing and they're good friends and they are like slugging it out and they're having a grand old time, like just playing. And then one of them hits a little too hard and then it gets really serious really fast. You know, it actually turns into a real fight. Don't let that happen, because that's what this guy wants to see happen. He wants you to believe that it's more serious, more dramatic, more open warfare than it actually is. So don't buy into that.